It's time to look ahead to week 9 here on the Early Edge on CBS Sports Network. Larry, Mike, and Danny with me. Well, let's start with Thursday night football. Danny, I'm going to start with you. Interesting. The Dolphins absolutely, I mean, I don't even know what word to attach to what they did to the Atlanta Falcons, but I think it was a surprise to most people. Not just that they won the game, but the manner in which they won it. Well, now they host the Baltimore Ravens, who we expect to get Lamar Jackson. We expect him to practice in full and actually play in this game. It's a 7.5 point spread. It's a 50.5 point total. What do you like early in this one?
I'm not buying that the Dolphins are back or fixed by any means. The Atlanta Houdini Falcons are liable to disappear any week. We saw they got blanked by the Carolina Panthers. So what do we think? Do we think that the Dolphins are fixed and are going to compete in this game, or that Derrick Henry is going to run through them like a steam engine? He had only 71 rush yards on 21 carries against the Bears yesterday. It's kind of just because the Bears were loading up and expecting it. Huntley starting, right? We knew that it was going to Henry. He couldn't quite get going. But against this Dolphins run defense that is just atrocious in every way you look at it, I think Henry brings them way back to earth. I think this is a potential smash spot for the Ravens, and maybe Mike McDaniel's job isn't so secure.
Mike, it does feel like it could be a smash spot if they get going downhill. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, did you guys watch the Buffalo Bills and the Carolina Panthers? This will be a repeat of that game. It'll be an absolute beatdown from the Baltimore Ravens side. The spread should be double digits at 10.5 or 11. To me, a big edge here. I think this is a great spot for Baltimore. And I think you have to also consider just the emotion and the state of that locker room, right? You talk about the season and where it had been. Caught a huge break this weekend by winning that game, watching the Steelers and the Bengals both lose. Now they're right back to favorites in the division. They can salvage this season here, and I think they take every opportunity starting on Thursday night. Love the Ravens here, -7.5.
Yeah, and Mike, you were all over the Bills, absolutely crushing Carolina. I know that was a pick you were giving out on CBS Sports Network, on CBS Sports HQ, and of course on the Early Edge SportsLine YouTube channel. Larry, talk to me. What do you like in this one?
Well, the Ravens also watched the Browns lose, but I guess that's not really news. I think this one gets over the total. I think Lamar comes back. I like to see Keaton Mitchell getting involved with his explosion. But I think Tua Tagovailoa played a good game, 20 of 26, 4 touchdowns against a very good pass defense. They got Ollie Gordon involved. Jalen Waddle was excellent. So I think the Dolphins can do enough offensively at home to get this game over the total.
All right, let's go to a week 9 play we want to make potentially right now on a total or a side. Mike McClure, I start with you.
Give me the Steelers and the Colts under 49.5. It's just such a big number. And I'm not going to say what the Colts have done offensively hasn't been real. They've been legit. They've played every single game in a dome except for the game at the Tennessee Titans, where anyone can score points against the Tennessee Titans. I think it'll be a different story in Pittsburgh. We might have some rain for this game as well. But also, when you watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, they will run Chris Boswell out there frequently for 50-plus yard field goals. And I think he's going to make them. You're not getting to 49.5 points in the NFL by settling for field goals. I think that the Indianapolis Colts have success running the ball and the clock. I think this number should be 47.
Larry, I'm going to have a hard enough time watching Monday Night Football tonight and watching my Commanders' playoff chances slowly or perhaps quickly dwindle. It sounds to me like your look ahead is Seattle, who, of course, plays Washington next week.
Yeah, remember when your Commanders had the big scheduling advantage over the Raiders and they pummeled them, putting up 41 points? Well, now it's on the opposite foot because the Commanders will be on a short week and they have to face a red-hot Seattle team that is undefeated on the road, that is coming off its bye. So again, it's an unfair scheduling spot for the Commanders, and we don't even know if they're going to suffer any injuries tonight. I hope they don't, but I think Seattle at anything 3 or less, and we're starting to see some 3.5. Seattle's a good play.
I mean, it's a good point about injuries. While they can happen to anyone, there are some guys that we're not even sure are going to get through a game with the heel injury with Deebo Samuel, Terry McLaurin's soft tissue injuries and whatnot. Danny, talk to me about the 49ers bouncing back.
Well, this one is defined by injury, and there's just no way I can not bet against the Giants here. The juju in New York has been sapped out of the building with Cam Scadaboo's injury, no Malik Neighbors, and I don't think you're going to see an emotional rally in this one. In fact, I think that's going to come from the 49ers, kind of rah-rah Kyle Shanahan spot, who've been piecing it together. No Fred Warner, no Nick Bosa. I mean, I don't need to name all the injuries because they're just decimated at every level, yet they found a way to make it work. Upton Stout, their nickelback, good player, avoided injury last week. I think that's going to be key here. And I think they go into New York and just kind of get some things right. Soft schedule can keep them in the division hunt, certainly keep them in a wild card spot. So no matter how many injuries they have, I'm still playing them against the Giants, who I just don't think will have life in them for this game.
The injury luck for the 49ers over the last like 5 or 10 years seems like it's one of the worst. I mean, listen, every fan base has their complaints about their own team's injuries, but it just feels like the Niners are one of those teams where the injuries, and I know there's a stat that people I could look at a stat on that, but it's just been crazy with the major players for the 49ers. All right, let's talk about a week 9 side that we're waiting on to bet. Larry, I'm going to start with you.
I want the Patriots hosting the Falcons. You're seeing some 4.5 as the low number on New England right now, but maybe Penix gets ruled in earlier in the week with a full practice, and maybe we get a 4, and that's when I want to jump on the Patriots. Not only have they won 5 straight, they have covered those 5 by more than 12 points per game. So they are just blowing people out, and you can attack their schedule. But remember, they also beat the Bills outright as 8-point dogs. So give me the Patriots at home against the Falcons.
Another team that blew a team out yesterday, Danny Brasco, was the Broncos against Dallas. But you're playing the Texans, you're probably not going to be blowing them out. You might win, but you're probably not going to be blowing them out. Talk to me about an underplay.
Yeah, look at this total that books are setting after both these teams had their best offensive showings of the year. It's sitting at 39.5 on some books. So if you can grab that 40, I'm hoping that Nico Collins maybe plays, or the sentiment around both of their big numbers they dropped yesterday will raise this total up a bit, because 40 is super important. But Broncos Steelers, that just sounds like an under, right? I mean, Broncos Texans just sounds like an under. The Texans have been pretty stout and stingy on defense, and I think they're going to have to lean on that. There's no way I'm willing to just believe that Bo Nix and CJ Stroud have fixed their problems all of a sudden. And now facing solid defenses, I think they get into kind of a rock fight in this game.
You know who has solved their problems, Mike McClure, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Your Kansas City Chiefs. 3-4 weeks ago, we're like, is this team going to make the playoffs? What's their impact going to be? And now everybody's talking about them rightfully as maybe the top dog. Now they get to play the Bills next week. Ed Oliver looks like he might be out for the year. That's a huge injury. What are we waiting on, and who are we taking in this huge game next week? Kansas City, Buffalo.
So I'm going to wait on Kansas City. I want to play them here. And the reason I'm waiting is I don't want to see any sort of injury at this point to any skill position player. I don't think we're in jeopardy of the line moving much more. I don't think that we're going to see 2s or 2.5s, anything like that. That would create a pretty big teaser liability on the Buffalo side if you can start catching them at 8 or better. So I don't think we see that kind of move in the market, but I think that we could see some buying on Buffalo after their big performance and catching Kansas City around even money. I am very worried about Buffalo defensively. I expect them to be without Milano, without Daquan Jones, without Ed Oliver in this matchup against Kansas City. Again, I just don't think you're going to catch them laying more than 2, though, on the road. So I think there's no risk in waiting, and could be a little bit of upside in playing this later if you catch this around even money on the money line.
I'm very much already looking forward to that game. And I'm always looking forward to talking to Larry Hartstein, Mike McClure, Danny Brasco. Gentlemen, thanks for joining the show. Thanks for all the picks and the analysis. Speaking of analysis, if you want to chat about any of these games that we've talked about, the games we're about to talk about across any sport, if you're a SportsLine member, you get the SportsLine members only Discord for free. So make sure you join SportsLine. And the first thing you got to do is go to the SportsLine members only Discord, where we're talking all sports all the time, a separate channel for each sport. You definitely want to be in there.